Incremental lines in dentine. There are three types of incremental lines in dentine. First is the incremental lines of von Ebner, second is contour lines of Owen, and third is the neonatal line of dentine. So like enamel, dentine is also deposited in a rhythmic form. We'll just see how these incremental lines are deposited. The name of incremental line in dentine is incremental lines of von Ebner. Now it represents the rhythmic deposition of dentine on a daily basis. It is the dentine matrix. First the organic matrix is deposited and it is calcified. So rhythmic deposition of dentine matrix and calcification. And on daily basis, if you see, daily 4 micron meter dentine is deposited regularly. And it is the incremental lines which are formed, that is the increments formed of the dentine. And these incremental lines are formed every 5 days. Okay, so we can say that they are 20 micron meter apart. Each incremental line has a distance of 20 micron meter between each other. Okay, let us see the diagram. Now this is the dentino-enamel junction scallop. These are the enamel rods in the enamel. Now we are focusing on the dentine. So these are the dentinal tubules in the dentine. So you can see the tubule S-shaped dentinal tubules in the dentine. These incremental lines are perpendicular to the dentino-enamel junction. So you can see horizontal lines perpendicular to the dentinal tubules. So these increments are deposited daily 4 micron meter, as I already said, and each incremental line is 20 micron meter apart. Now this speed of daily dentine deposition continues till the tooth completely erupts in the oral cavity. Okay, as the tooth attains its functional position to the occlusal level, this speeds decreases. Next incremental line is called as contour lines of Owen. These are not any other different incremental lines, but these are the same incremental lines of von Ebner which are accentuated. Okay, so we can say that accentuated incremental lines of von Ebner are called as contour lines of Owen. I am denoting this in the green. In between the blue lines of incremental lines, you can see the green lines. Okay, so these green lines I am drawing it darker, which are showing nothing but the accentuated means dark incremental lines of von Ebner, which are called as the contour lines of Owen. How these contour lines of Owen are formed? We'll see that these contour lines of Owen are the hypocalcified areas of the dentine. That is why they are more darker areas. So these represent nothing but the disturbances of the mineralization in dentine. So these disturbances in the rhythmic deposition of dentine formed as the incremental lines. These are the accentuated incremental lines of von Ebner, that is the contour lines of Owen. Next we will see the neonatal line. Neonatal line is as same as that of the enamel, that is which is describing the dentine deposition prenatally and the postnatally, prenatal and postnatal dentine deposition. So it is nothing but the line which demarcates the pre and postnatal dentine deposition. Okay, so it is also said that the prenatal dentine deposition is of better quality than that of the postnatal dentine formation. Okay, now we will see, we'll draw a diagram, same diagram. In the same diagram I'll show you how this three lines are accommodated. Okay, so the blue lines represent the incremental lines of Retzius, the green lines are the contour lines of Owen, and the red line, what I am showing here, is the neonatal line. The neonatal line which is demarcating the prenatal dentine and the postnatal dentine. So the dentine towards the pulp will be the postnatal dentine, and towards the enamel will be the prenatal dentine, because the dentine formation is from the pulpwards, right? Okay, so the red line which is denoting the neonatal line, the yellow color what I am showing here is the prenatal dentine, So here we can see the prenatal dentin in the yellow, then the neonatal line, and the postnatal dentin is in the blue. So the neonatal line is demarcating the prenatal and the postnatal dentin. Now next topic is Tomes granular layer. It is seen in the root, that is the radicular dentin. In radicular dentin, this is located at the cementum and dentin junction, or the cemento-dentinal junction. So why it is formed? It is formed due to defect in mineralization again, or it can be called as a hypocalcified area or a granular hypocalcified area. It is formed due to looping of the dentinal tubules at the cemental junction. Looping of dentinal tubules at the cemento-dentinal junction. The tubules, they coalesce at the cemental junction, at the cementum, and bend near that cemento-dentinal interface. But it is a point to be noted that it is not a structural feature. Okay, it is not a structure, but seen in ground sections, seen only in the slide, that is in the ground section under transmitted light. Okay, so many specifications are there to observe this particular structural, not a structural feature, but it is an appearance in the dentin, in the radicular dentin near the cemental junction. Now let us see in diagram how it is seen. Now this is the cementum, this side is the pulp cavity, this is the dentin. I'll just zoom this picture for you. This is the dentin, pulp cavity. In the ground section the pulp is lost, so we will just have the pulp cavity. Pulp cavity, the dentin in the center and cementum on the other side. Okay, so the dentin is sandwiched between the pulp cavity and the cementum. Now these are the dentinal tubules, S-shaped dentinal tubules. So these S-shaped dentinal tubules are running from the pulp towards the cementum, or the cementum towards the pulp. When these tubules hit the cemental junction, they are forming loops. Okay, and this looping of the dentinal tubules, when cut in a longitudinal section, appear as the granular layer. They appear as a granular layer. These are the Sharpie's fibers in the cementum, so just giving it a cementum like look. Okay, so this granular layer is called as the Tomes granular layer, formed due to the looping of the dentinal tubules at the cemental junction. Okay, now this Tomes granular layer is not a structural feature, it is only seen in the ground section. Okay, this is an important topic as far as exam point of view is concerned. It is asked in MCQ, it is asked in short notes, it is asked as a long question under the hypocalcified areas of dentin. Then it is also a slide in practical. Interglobular dentin. It is also a hypocalcified area of the dentin. When asked in exams, you should write that it is mostly seen in coronal dentin. So predominantly this interglobular dentin is seen in the coronal dentin. To be exact in location, it is seen near the dentino-enamel junction. Near the dentino-enamel junction there is mantle dentin. So beneath the mantle dentin, this is enamel, this is mantle dentin beneath the DEJ, and this is the interglobular dentin. So you can see the typical shape of the interglobular dentin. The dark areas in the dentin are the interglobular dentin. Now the location again, seen near the DEJ and below the mantle dentin. How it is formed? As it is a hypocalcified area, it is formed due to defective mineralization process, because the mineralization or the calcification takes place in some areas in globular form. That is, mineralization takes place in globules, just like the marbles what we play. Okay, so these marbles, if they are kept together, there will be some space in between the marbles. Just like that, the areas between these globular areas remain unmineralized or poorly mineralized. Okay, So let us see the diagram. So these areas are the interglobular dentine. The star-shaped areas are the interglobular dentine. How these are formed? Like the globular calcification takes place just like the marbles, like this. Okay, and these coalesce to form the dentinal mass. Okay, or the dentine mass. Rather, should coalesce to form the dentine mass ideally. But what happens sometimes that in between these areas, the pink areas what I am denoting here, these areas remain to calcify, and these defective areas, these pink areas, are the interglobular areas which fail to mineralize. Okay, interglobular areas which fail to mineralize. So these shape of these interglobular areas, if you see, they perfectly match with this shape of the interglobular dentine. Okay, so this is what is the interglobular dentine, situated beneath the mantle dentine near the dentino-enamel junction. Okay, so overall we have seen its location near the DEJ below the mantle dentine, but sometimes in 5 to 10% of cases it may be seen in the root also. So it is not completely in the crown, sometimes it is seen in root also. Okay, interglobular dentine is an important topic. It's frequently asked in exams, in MCQ, short notes, or as a long question for hypocalcified areas in dentine, and in practicals also.